This video is going to have two segments. The first one's a bummer, and the second one is more optimistic. Most of my content is me giving advice based on viewer questions, and while I enjoy that, I do think you should see behind the curtain, to the place I learn all this stuff. The struggles resulting from my own neurological disorders are as valuable as advice, because they are what give me the knowledge to move forward. In 2020, I started a West Marches campaign for my YouTube subscribers. If you're not familiar, the West Marches is a type of gameplay with a ton of players that can assemble an adventure at will, exploring a sandbox world and uncovering its mysteries. I started this during quarantine lockdown. I had a couple months off work, so I had loads of time. I was able to DM something like 3 games a week in different time zones. This was on top of other paid and personal D&D games, usually for a total of 5 or 6 games a week. In addition, every time I logged into Discord, I would get an hour's worth of player questions or role-playing to resolve. This left me DMing or addressing game concerns something like 35 hours a week. Skylar, you're probably thinking, that's insane. You are clearly on track to get burnt out. And I did. But the way my brain works, I need to push something all the way to its limit on my own before I even understand how to accept help. I got to the point where in my private time, I pointedly was not thinking about D&D. Writing video scripts, naturally, was very hard, and when I tried to make myself get into the RPG headspace, I would experience what I now understand were panic attacks. Then, when I went back to work and couldn't sustain my DMing pace, it felt like failing. You all know I have techniques for dealing with DM burnout, but I got to a point where they weren't working anymore. I wanted a low-impact way to take a break without taking a break, so I started a tournament arc. Following scheduling issues and interplayer drama, all the will to do even that was sapped out of me. With my own energy gone, what was once an active server with more than a dozen players constantly ready to go became a ghost town. From the beginning, I wanted to plant the seeds of this game and eventually make it autonomous, with other DMs and designers coordinating the ongoing adventures. The opportunity to take that step got swallowed in my assumed responsibilities to the game. Couple that with an Achilles tendon injury I sustained during my other favorite hobby, long-distance running, and I felt hopeless. So you know what happened, and you know why. Here's where the video stops being such a bummer. Experiencing a limitation and internalizing it is a very powerful moment. My mind is wired to stubbornly push past any limitations, which of course results in exhaustion and failure. I haven't DM'd for my server in a month as of recording time, maybe more. I was worried that I'd never want to DM again. This forced rest felt like failure, but without it, I wouldn't have gotten my mojo back. Rehabbing a running injury and healing my enthusiasm had a lot in common. That restlessness building inside me was real. Having that distance from everything helped me understand what was harmful and what I actually missed. In running, I missed the ritual. I missed the focus and clarity it lent me throughout the day, and what hurt me was constantly pushing for personal records. In DMing, I missed being able to tinker with this ongoing narrative and give everyone opportunities for epic character moments. What hurt me was opening every aspect of my life and time to the game. Now I'm running again, training for an October race, but I'm not pushing myself to such extremes. My success is now in the doing, not in the measuring the results. I'm also planning to DM the West Marches again, but with some imposed limitations on how much territory it can claim in my life, starting with 1 bi-weekly session, and player questions contained to a channel instead of my private messages. I have another DM who's helping to pick up other sessions throughout the week, and I trust him to do an outstanding job. Moving forward, I might limit it to certain times of the year, splitting my time into West Marches season and off-season, where I can do things like make videos and get my hands dirty with some non-D&D game design. Thank you for watching. If you're a Dungeon Master who's interested in the West Marches format, I'd love to talk to you about running a few games on the Discord server. Until next time,